Hi there, I'm Meaghan Duncan. I'm an actress from Ontario, Canada, and you're going to see some videos of my life in lockdown. Unfortunately, we didn't get to this project early enough for the first couple of weeks of lockdown, where my mum and I watched every season of Law & Order we could get our hands on and ate 2 kilos of Cadbury mini eggs. But you're still going to see some good stuff. The video you're about to watch is my dad and I trying to fix my local community theater's roof. He's sort of the go-to handyman, and we've had some problems with our little night creature friends who've decided to use the theater, since it's been empty, as a winter hiding place. You can't really blame them, but they definitely can't stay. So you're about to see us fixing up the holes in the roof that they've left, making their way in and out. And we've set some live traps, so hopefully there will be updates about whether or not we've caught anybody that can go back to the forest where they belong. So watch this space, I guess. Update. Yeah. Hi again, here with an update. Apparently, we have caught one mouse. I don't spend all my time with my dad. I'm living with my mum right now, just for, you know, reasons. But I do spend a lot of time with him on weekends and at the end of the week, and he texted me the other day to say that we caught a mouse and that one of the traps has gone missing. So I don't know what that means. I'm a little scared. I don't know if I should be scared, but it seems quite frightening. We haven't caught anything in the live traps yet, and yeah, we're still working on it, so there will be more updates, and next time I've got some video footage of my mum and I tramping through the woods, looking for cedar boughs for Christmas decorations.
Hi, my name is Julia. This is the second part of my story. In the first part, I told you how my mother was taken into hospital with pneumonia, contracted COVID-19, and then developed a perforated bowel and became end of life. In this part, I'm just mainly going to concentrate on the 1 hour's visiting that we were allowed, as I find that the most distressing. When I got the call to go to see my mum for the 1 hour, it was at 7 o'clock in the morning, I went down. I have 2 sisters and they were not allowed to go in. So I went in and my mum was laid there, and I was wiping her brow and trying to comfort her the best I can. although I didn't think she sort of knew that I was there by that time. At 8 o'clock, the ward sister came in and told me that basically my time was up and that I had to leave. Now, if you can imagine what that was like, because that meant that I had to get up and leave my mum to die alone. So I said to the ward sister, why do I need to go? I'm already here, I'm already sat here, why do I need to go? And although I got the impression that they weren't really in favour of it, they said that the decisions came from higher up and they were the rules. So basically I had to go. In that hour that I was sat there, obviously my two sisters couldn't see my mother, so we had to WhatsApp my mother passing away via a video call for them to see her. And well, you can imagine what that was like. So after the 1 hour, I had to stand up and leave my mother and take the long walk up the corridor and leave my mum to pass away alone. I struggled with this because if I'm sat there, as I said to the staff, what difference does it make? Whether she passed away in the next 5 minutes, and we knew she was going to pass away that day, that morning, sort of it wasn't going to be a long process. So if I'd have sat there 5 minutes, 1 hour, or a few hours, what difference did it make because I was already there? But obviously I couldn't, so I had to leave. So basically that meant that there was no dignity in death. There was no choice for the family. And you might say to me, well, you know, what difference would it have made? Well, firstly, it would have made a world of difference to my mother if she could have felt or heard something, to know that one of her daughters was there. And it would have made a massive difference to me and the rest of our family in the grieving process, because we will never have any peace in my mother's death. And when I say never, I mean never. So when all this coronavirus is over and the world is back to normal, this will not go away. And that's not just for me, but it's for loads of families that were in the same situation at that time. Some stories even worse than this, some with children. I heard a couple of horrendous stories, you know, the other day, which were just so heartbreaking. And there are millions of these stories all around the world, because this was a worldwide, or is a worldwide pandemic. I felt very strongly about this, so strongly that I did set up a petition on change.org, and my MP has taken it up. It has already gone to Parliament and to the relevant hospital that's where my mother died, and we have had a response from the hospital. We're still waiting for a response from the government. You see, if this pandemic is not going to go away, then this situation is not going to go away. And I do believe that there should be a choice. There'll always be the people that don't want to be there, and that is fine for those. There is nothing wrong in that, nothing whatsoever wrong in that. That's their choice. But for those that do want to stay with somebody while they're passing away, especially if they haven't got coronavirus, remember at this time my mother had a negative test and she didn't have coronavirus. And there were many people in the hospitals up and down the country that died alone who never contracted coronavirus. They died of other illnesses. And they died alone. So, you know, that there should be the choice of whether the relative wants to stay there or not. It's not about, enforcing people to be there, of course not. But if you want the choice, then you should have that choice. And I don't know about you, but, if I was to die, I don't want to die alone. I can't imagine many people that want to die alone. I'm not saying that what the government has brought in isn't wrong. Everything that the government has brought in is correct. We should all be doing exactly what they say. Wearing the face masks, the 2 meters apart, all these tier systems, they should all be in place. It is all perfectly correct. But when we come down to death and we come down to the fact that a member of your family is dying, that is a different matter, because that is something that you've got to live with for the rest of your life. And in many of these situations, it was a shock. It was a shock that my mother passed away. It was a shock that she contracted COVID-19 while in hospital when she went in with a pneumonia and got the COVID. It was a shock that she got a perforated bowel. All that was enough without her dying alone. And then obviously after that happened, it didn't stop there. We then had the whole rigmarole with the funeral. And, how many can attend a funeral and everything else that was going on at that time. It was the most heartbreaking, horrendous situation to be in. If you do take away anything from this, my story, the most important thing is for you to spend as much time as possible with your loved ones, because we never know what is going to happen or what is around the corner. And I do believe that you should fight for what you believe in. And although I could have just walked away and, not set up a petition or not done anything, I didn't feel that that was the right thing to do. And maybe, if we'd have seen an end to this pandemic, it would have been different. But it's still going on, isn't it? And, if anybody else got ill, I wouldn't like to think that I'd got to go through this again. My mother suffered terribly on her own before she ever got to her final days in hospital. She suffered because she couldn't have visitors. She suffered because she was scared and 84. And she was told twice that she was fit for discharge. And twice that went wrong. And she got the hope of coming home. And then a cruel turn of events meant that she was end of life and died alone. And we now as a family have to carry that cross and try to come to terms with it. However, it's not going to go away. It never will go away. So I hope you can take a look at my petition on change.org. It's under my name, Julia Goodinson. And if you'd like to sign it, that would be great. But the most important thing that you can do is spend time with the ones that you love. Thank you very much for listening to my story.